My name is Margaret Frisbee, and I'm the Executive Director of Friends of the My Chicago River Day Summer Challenge and the 28th Annual Chicago River Day, which would have taken place in May, and instead we had it take place all summer long. So that's pretty great. Today is a really special day as we celebrate the culmination of all your hard work to collect litter on your block, in your neighborhood, and all along the river. And all of the people who joined Friends for the Saturday morning river presentations every other weekend all summer long. We're thrilled that over 2,300 people participated, and it was pretty amazing. So a little housekeeping. We have muted all participants just to simplify things, and we're going to do some, give people a chance to ask questions at the end of the whole session. So be patient, feel free to use the chat bar, and we'll look forward to hearing from you. So as many of you know, our mission at Friends of the Chicago River is to improve and protect the Chicago River system for people, plants, and wildlife. And in the 41 years that we have been at work, there has been tremendous progress, just amazing. And the river's alive with people and wildlife in, on, and along the water. There barely seems a day when the river isn't in the news for some exciting, wonderful thing that's happening. However, we still know we face complex problems. There's impacts from sewage, from climate change, stormwater runoff, and of course, litter that we've been talking about, and it blows in to the river and it washes in and gets blown in by wind, and it creates hazards for people and for wildlife. Studies show that Loyola University professor Tim Holein found that 93% of the fish in our local rivers have plastic inside them. Our research from Chicago River Day last year found that 50% of that litter is food related. So it's paper cups and plastic bottles and to-go packaging from restaurants, things that are 100% avoidable. There's no reason that needs to be in the river. So we know that litter makes our environment unsafe and unsanitary, which is why we launched Chicago River Day, why we did the My Chicago River Day Summer Challenge, and why we also have an ongoing campaign called Litter Free Chicago River, where we're developing programs, policies, and partnerships that is looking at the long-term systemic impacts of litter and also how we can rid the river of litter. So your contributions have been tremendous, including our sponsors. And so I'm going to let you know who they all are. Our presenting sponsor was Exelon, so thank you. PepsiCo, a lead sponsor. The Royal Bank of Canada, a stream sponsor. Mars Wrigley Foundation, a creek sponsor. Our March sponsors were Aria Co-op, the Cynthia Wegler's Roundtree Fund, Schulze and Birch Biscuit Company, Waste Management, and West Monroe Partners. So with all of your support, all of the volunteers and all of the sponsors, that's what makes the work that we did together, picking up trash, possible, but also this ongoing work where we work together to rid the river of trash. So thank you very much to all of you. So now it is my pleasure to introduce Annette Anderson, who brought the My Chicago River Summer Challenge to life and has been managing these programs all summer long. And Annette is going to share with you some of the good news from this summer. So Annette.
Thanks so much, Margaret. I appreciate it. I'm really happy to be here with all of you, people who made this idea come together. So thank you all for all of your efforts. As Margaret mentioned, we had over 2,300 people participate in the summer challenge, and that is between our educational programming and then folks that went out individually and in small groups to clean up litter independently. But this was exciting too because we had a lot of new friends. A lot of people joined Crew, almost 300 people joined our volunteer group. A lot of people were interested in membership and now are with us getting our weekly updates. So that's wonderful news. So about 200, just over 200 people filled out the report to let us know that they were taking the summer challenge. Of those people, we had a really good diverse group of people. The age group 36 to 55 were the big winners with 49% of the summer challenge takers, and just behind them 26 to 35-year-olds. One thing that came out to me when I was looking at the results of the survey was that about 50% of the people were first-time volunteers for Friends, which I just thought was so wonderful. I had expected a lot of our longtime Chicago River Day volunteers to join us, but the fact that this reached new audiences was really exciting to see. I am just going to queue up my bit of a presentation here. Together, those 200 plus people had 357 volunteer hours. So that's a lot of time spent out cleaning up the river, and that equates to, you know, almost $10,000 if you equate hours into money, which money talks for a lot of us. That's $10,000 of people's time that obviously contributes a lot to the health of the river. So I just wanted to recap also just how big our watershed is. This is about the, you know, the territory Friends is trying to cover. So it's 156 miles. It goes from Lake County all the way over into Indiana with the Calumet River. So it's a big area, and we really need every community to try to do their little part in their little nook of the wood. Sorry, nook of the woods, to try to clean up what they can. As Margaret said, we had a great educational programming schedule. We had 9 programs, and as you can see, they kind of tell the story of the river. If you missed any of these, they're all available on our YouTube channel. You can even play them as a playlist and just have a full day of river programming. So overall, we had just over 19,000 pounds of litter collected. There was, as Margaret mentioned, we launched on Chicago River Day, May 9th. And then from there, people really just jumped into picking up litter. So I'm going to show you a few pictures that were sent in to me of different individuals and groups doing their little bit along the river. Some other fun things that we learned was when we asked what your motivations were for going outside and picking up litter, a lot of people said they just like being outside, which is telling, you know, that you want to improve the environment. 80% of you said you wanted to leave the Chicago River cleaner for future generations. 77% said you wanted to express your support for environmental protections. And 71% of you thought it would be fun. And from what we found, when we asked you on a scale of 1 to 10, how much fun did you have, the average number was a 9. So lots of 10s in there. I think a lot of people had a good time. It's a little bit of a sneak surprise when you know, you think, oh, I'm picking up garbage. How can that be fun? But there's such a immediate impact. It's hard not to have fun. It's a little addicting, as a lot of us found. So we did a history of the river, you know, presentation as well. And then a couple other reasons people shared with us was just they were sick of seeing trash and they were happy to get out there. They wanted to do something useful during the pandemic. We had a couple Boy Scouts. We had Forest Preserve volunteers. And, you know, they just wanted to set a good example for their neighbors. And we found a lot of people were thanked by their neighbors anytime they went out. So that was really exciting. And one thing that I found was maybe the most exciting stat, besides how many people got involved, was that 100% of people said they were going to continue to pick up litter independently, which I just thought was amazing. That just goes to show what that personal experience brings to, you know, behavior and consciousness, and, you know, kind of just not accepting litter as something that we're going to have on our streets and in our river. So once we change that mindset that this is not acceptable anymore, and each one of us does our little part, then we will create a litter-free Chicago River. Let's see, what else did I have to tell you? So what did we find? We found shopping carts, we found an arrow, we found glasses, a bowling ball, Starbucks cups, a tricycle, spray paint cans. lots of food packaging, as Margaret mentioned, cigarette butts. Cigarette butts are actually the #1 thing that we find on our cleanups. So any chance you get to encourage local businesses to put out cigarette butt receptacles, please do that. We had one fella tell us he found every single kind of ball, a basketball, a football, a soccer ball, golf ball, ping pong balls. So that was kind of fun. And then one person said they uncovered some daffodils that they didn't see before. So that's always fun. You never know what you're going to see. And over, we had this recurring comment that people were thanked over and over for picking up litter. I've experienced that. I know other people on this presentation have as well. So, you know, if you see other people picking up litter, be sure to do that as well and be part of that encouraging effort to create that community spirit. What else would I like to tell you? We did launch a new idea with the Summer Challenge interactive map through Google Maps. So we had about 55 people, 55 entries on the map. And the idea here was, since we're working independently, let's find a way to communicate through the summer, where we are, what we're doing, what we found, and really encourage, you know, our friends and neighbors to get out there. So that was, I'll show you a slide of that in a little bit. That was really exciting to see. This is a new idea, and then we hope to build on it coming in the recent future. A couple other questions that we asked in our report was, you know, how do you think we can reduce litter? And the #1 thing was to make it socially unacceptable. So it's difficult because when we asked how you were going to, you know, reduce litter, not everyone felt comfortable making it, you know, a comment to someone. But I think what we can do is by showing that we're picking up litter, that is the message. That tells people this is not appropriate or acceptable in our communities. So don't feel like you have to comment on anyone else's behavior. It's your behavior that is going to lead the way. There were over 90% of people who said they wanted public policy to reduce waste before it becomes litter. So that was really interesting and something Friends is definitely going to be working on. People wanted us to educate businesses to incentivize people to bring reusable containers, like for to-go coffee, and educate people better on the harm that litter poses to wildlife. I think, you know, the people that are here, a lot of us really understand that, but this is still fairly a new idea to a lot of people, and we really need to share that knowledge. The #1 thing that people will do to change their behavior, they said they wanted to buy more in bulk and really notice the packaging in their purchases. So that's really exciting. 93% of people said they were going to use a reusable water bottle more, which is wonderful. And 86% said they were going to encourage their friends and family and neighbors to reduce their waste. And again, share that education, help people understand the problem that we're facing here. So with that, I'll show you a last few pictures of the groups. We had a great amount of people out there independently and in small groups, you know, picking up litter all throughout the watershed. So I wanted to show you, I'll get to it here. This is a picture I took. I ended up finding a lot of toys. So, you know, just saying, there's always a basketball or soccer ball or minions to find, finders keepers. They become my little mascots. Oh, and thank you to Water Riders who did offer discounted trips to Chicago River Day Summer Challenge participants. And over, we just heard it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. So people really feel that personally. And so great job for all you guys that just followed your heart and knew that it was the right thing to do. So here again, I wanted to show you real quick kind of the watershed and then where the Summer Challenge took place. And it's such a big watershed that I did take a little zoom in So you could see just how many individual points people put on the map to show the different areas that they cleaned up. So that was very exciting to see. And finally, for everyone who participated, we are offering Chicago River Day t-shirts for those who filled out the report, and I wanted to give you a little preview of the artwork. We are featuring the pumpkin seed, as it was one of the 5 fish found in Mill Creek after the dam was removed there. So it has a new home, and we wanted to celebrate that. So with that, that's the big reveal. We have some folks here online, I think, that are going to help us learn more about their experience. So I'm going to turn it back to Margaret. Thanks, Margaret.
Of course. Yeah, no, thank you, Annette. And that was really interesting. Those are great statistics, and I think lessons that we can all learn and share with the people that we, our friends, our family, our coworkers, and share this message that we can be leaders in litter removal and really work together. And, friends, our success is because we work in collaboration. We want to work with people. We want to work with companies. And one of the key things is people who are willing to step out and really take a lead. And, our tributary committee, they signed up and did a litter-free day. They've done a lot of collecting of litter over time. And we've done brought in a lot of other people. And so we wanted to give a couple of people a chance to tell their own story. And so I'm really delighted to introduce Bridget Degnan, who is the commissioner, a Cook County commissioner of the 12th district. And she has been leading her own work days. She's been out on a work day with us. She's been organizing volunteers. Her staff has been deeply involved. And Commissioner Degnan, I would love for you to share some remarks about your experiences along the river and all the work that you've been doing. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Margaret. It's been really exciting. I'm actually at Portage Park right now on a park cleanup morning with my team. So I'm sitting in my car taking a break from cleaning up this park. Yeah, we have been pretty engaged. My undergraduate degree was environmental engineering. After the Peace Corps, I came back and did dig-in halls, basically, which were removing of subsurface waste and underground storage tanks for many years before I became a commissioner. And so since, the last 2 years since I've been a commissioner, we have started an environmental commission. We have worked with Friends of the Forest Preserves, Friends of the Chicago River. We've done river cleanup days. Our most recent one was 3 weekends ago. So we could only have 35 people because of social distancing. The 35 people maximum was filled like almost 3 weeks or more, even before our event. So we were really sad that we couldn't take more people, but we are going to continue to have these events, not just because it makes us feel good and it makes us feel good to be actually seeing the physical results of our work, but because I think when it's a Saturday or Sunday morning and people come out and they can do something good, it just makes them feel good about their whole weekend. So even if they do sit in front of the TV and watch a movie for 6 hours or doing Netflix and binge, they know that they've had a successful weekend doing something to help the environment. And I think, especially with our young people, I have a 14-year-old, they're, packaging and green things, it's just such a part of their life right now. And I've been so encouraged to see people using more reusable bags, see people buying naked produce at the grocery store and physically thinking, should I buy the lettuce that's wrapped in plastic or just buy the lettuce that's naked? And so those are discussions we have all the time in our community in Cook County. We have the 70,000 acres of forest preserves that we really encourage people to get out and enjoy those. But it all does require a lot of care and maintenance. So, we love doing it. We have in our environmental commission, one of the 3 main tenets that we are engaging in is a tree planting initiative to include the green cover on the south and west sides that have 70% less trees than the north side. So it's not just planting trees, it's the planning and preparing to plant. It's identifying which trees the city and the different municipalities and the suburbs will let us plant. It's getting people out there to plant them, finding the trees, and then making sure that people are maintaining those trees. for carbon sequestration and really just to benefit the environment in total. So we're very much, on the green agenda. We are going to have another river cleanup here soon. So we're just really glad that you guys are doing the work that you're doing. You make it easy for us to participate, getting the grabbers and the buckets and everything. It's just once you do it once, you can do it 100 times, and it really is easy. So thank you, Margaret, and your group for making it so easy for all of us. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. I love hearing all of your initiatives. I knew you were doing a ton of stuff, but that's more than I even realized. So make sure we're helping you any way we can. It's been wonderful to partner with you and your team, and we will continue to do so in the future. We have another elected official who has also really been committed to the Chicago River system and is our partner in the Big Jump, our annual big splash in the river to build awareness that we should be swimming in the river, and the river needs to be clean enough to support that. And so it's my pleasure to introduce Josina Morita, who's a Metropolitan Water Reclamation District Commissioner, who has been out again with work days, organizing volunteers, recruiting other elected officials. So Josina, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks. Hi, Margaret. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody is staying well. And, thank you to Margaret and Annette and Friends of the River, the whole team, for all the work that they've continued to do through this pandemic, being creative and finding opportunities for people to engage. The River Day cleanup, we were in Gompers Park a few weeks ago, cleaning up with Congressman Quigley and Commissioner Degnan and Alderman Nugent's team. And, I think, for the beginning of the pandemic, so many of us were kind of paralyzed, right? We were staying at home. We were just kind of coping and, trying to do the best that we could. But as we kind of reached the summer, people were really looking for positive opportunities to engage and feel like they were part of something in a way that was safe and engaging and productive. And so I think this was a great opportunity for people who, especially those of us who have kids and those of us who have been working from home and have been in the house the whole time, to have an opportunity to get out. It was nice to see Margaret's face to face. It was one of my first times seeing human beings in a while, but because it was safe, I felt comfortable to come out and, for a good cause, to have something tangible, to pick up litter, have your bucket at the end of the day. All of those Corona bottle caps that we saw at Gompers Park, they should probably rename it. We were making all kinds of bad Corona jokes. But to really feel like you had that tangible impact, from a few hours of your day, I think has been really gratifying for people, especially during this time, where it's so hard to figure out how to engage and how to give back to the community and feel like you're part of something positive and productive. So it's fun, and thank you for all the work that Friends has done. It's sad for me, and I think a lot of us, to not be able to do the Big Jump, but the litter removal is a piece of what it means to make the Chicago River recreational and swimmable for everybody one day. The work that we do at MWRD to improve water quality, the work around litter. Our offices continue to do work around water footprint issues and helping people understand that water conservation is not just taking short showers and flushing your toilet less, that it is the packaging and the litter and the kind of consumer production process that, also is very water intensive, but also has huge impacts in terms of, most of what we saw along the river was packaging, and most of it, is excess packaging and things like that. And so thinking about the whole life cycle of products and how we consume and how that leads to the end product of litter, right? We look at litter as the end product, but there's so much that goes into it. And so this was a great experience for a lot of our folks to get involved, learn another piece of what it's going to take to make the Chicago River swimmable. And thanks again for creating, an opportunity for folks to engage in a fun, safe, and family-friendly way.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. And I couldn't agree with you more. As we think through our systems, we think through how we live. Both of you have really pointed out this idea about every day, we can reduce our footprints. And if we were going to take that Earth Day message of reduce, reuse, recycle, really you want the reduce to be just enormous, and so that the recycling is a little, because that's really where we're going to make a difference. And so keep that in mind every single day when you're walking, when you're shopping, when you're with people. I couldn't agree more. So, you know, we know our elected officials, you guys are champions for our environment and the world in which we live, which we need right now. But it also takes just us regular people, right? And so we've had just a ton of volunteers who have been out. I mean, you guys were volunteering, I will point that out. But, you know, those of us that are regular, and I'm really excited to introduce Brian Pesta if he's here. I'm not sure, he might be under someone else's name. Are you here, Brian? Okay, so I don't have Brian, but I do have Catherine Telek, and Catherine is, if you go to the map that, you know, Annette showed the interactive map, if you go, Annette, Catherine was out and about. I think she might be our #1 individual volunteer this year. So she just was so dedicated. We were thrilled. And Catherine got to know friends and signed up to be a site captain for the 28th annual River Day in May. And when we were unable to hold it, she jumped in and figured out how to even do more than she would have done in May. So I can't thank you enough. And Catherine, I'd love if you tell a little bit about your experience and, you know, kind of what you saw as you were out and about this year.
Yeah, thank you for introducing me. I've been really like inspired by the whole summer challenge, obviously, and I think it started out actually before the summer challenge was announced. I just was really disgusted by the amount of trash on my street. It was in the spring, it was right after the snow had melted. I know it tends to be a little worse that time of year, but I think I just got out there with a trash bag and cleaned up my own block, and people thanked me, people in my building thanked me. And then, you know, of course, then the summer challenge was announced, and I thought, well, this is a really good way to spend my time over the next few months because I had extra time, you know, mostly due to COVID, there's not much to do. And so I thought this is a really good way I can get involved with the community, spend my time well. I also thought it was a really good cure for the pandemic blues because it gets you out in the sun, it gets you good exercise, and like everybody has said, it's a really good tangible before and after. You know, you get a nice like photo before and after. So I started going to different parks. I started to go to areas along the river, cleaning up different streets. And then I posted about it on Facebook and Nextdoor, and I wasn't really intending to gather volunteers, but it sort of just organically happened, and people reached out and were like, I want to join. And then I realized there were a few areas I went to, such as Clark Park, which is right along the river, that were very, very bad, and it would have taken me all day to clean them up. You know, it would have taken me multiple visits to do it myself. And so I started to kind of gather people, put together an email list, and just kind of announce every week where I was going to be, because I did pretty much like one a week for most of the challenge period. I think it was like June, July, most of August. And then I got a little busy after that, but yeah, so that was kind of how that formed. And I think it's been a really good way to also have like socially distanced interactions with people. You can interact with others without getting too close, and you know, it's also been a great way to find people with common interests who are also passionate about this. And I'm not the only one like shaking my fist in the air and being like cranky about seeing litter around, but there are a lot of other people that are passionate about it too. So it's been good to meet those people and form some new friendships through it. And overall, we have made a pretty big impact. I think by the end, I think it was 14 people we had attend one of the cleanups that I organized. And yeah, and then it was, honestly, I think it was 47 bags of trash. I estimated the weight, but I never weighed anything because I didn't really have the ability to. But some of it was, you know, just felt really good. And I think along the way, we inspired a lot of people because people would come up to us at the parks and thank us. But I think it also, I've seen people actually start picking up their own stuff because they saw us there picking up trash that other people had left behind. So yeah, and it's also encouraged me to make some changes in my personal life in terms of like my own plastic usage and other things, and to get more involved in the Chicago sort of environmental scene through I started a group on Nextdoor and on Facebook, so it's really like inspired me in a lot of ways. So thank you guys for doing that.
Wow. Well, I'd say you're welcome, but I think really it's thanks to you. Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. What a wonderful story. Thank you so much. You know, it's been just incredible to be part of this, I feel, this summer. And I know that my husband and I collected trash in the alley behind our house, you know, on our street as we walked our dogs in the neighborhood. And in that slideshow, there's a picture of a man and two dogs in a bucket in the woods. That's us at Labatt Woods, where we brought our bucket and, you know, we would find a full bucket of trash. Working together, we are making a difference. That garbage we're collecting, it's out of the river system, and it wouldn't have been. So we would have been harming animals. We're harming our kitties with all this litter. And I just can't thank you enough, all of our volunteers, every single one of you. And I do have one more special summer challenger who I want to introduce, who's been an inspiration. Certainly recruited some volunteers when she appeared on Chicago River Day. And that's our super safety hero, the Litter Bandit, who's going to make a special visit with us today. So where's the Litter Bandit?
Oh.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Great job. I can't thank you all enough. A round of applause, a round of applause. We had at least 10 people organize their own groups and reach out to friends to borrow supplies. So that's wonderful. That just shows, as Catherine mentioned, you know, you're inspiring other people to get out and get involved in their community, in your community, in our community. So thank you all so much. It sounds like everyone had a very safe experience. So I'm glad you were able to utilize our safety sheets. Always safety first. Definitely, Friends is always there for you. If you have questions, if you need help reaching out how to organize a cleanup, the toolkit is available still. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Friends anytime. And you never know when you'll see the Litter Bandit. So I'm out there, I'm picking up litter with all the rest of my friends. And thank you so much. This has made a huge difference in our watershed. Thanks so much. Thanks, Margaret.
Thank you, Litter Bandit. Looking forward to seeing you out along the river. So finally, we're getting close to the program. Just have a couple more minutes. We wanted to make sure that if anybody had any questions they wanted to ask, we were available to answer them. I don't know that we do have questions, but feel free to put them in the chat box or raise your hand. Okay. Okay. So we got a question. Bruno.
Yes, I do have a question.
All right, excellent.
Actually, two questions. First one, I would say, is there a group close to where I live? I live on Damon and Irving Park. I'd like to know if there's a group that's close by, because there's a lot of trash around my neighborhood, and basically walk around, and when I can, pick up some litter and put them in a trash can. And so I didn't want to know if there was somebody else that, or a group, I would say, that was closer that I could connect with and join their efforts. And second question is regarding when is the next Chicago River cleaning? Or when is the starting next? Is it in 2021? Is there still events, I would say, in the fall or in the winter? So I just wanted to have those questions. Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, thank you, Bruno. Hey, Annette, can I toss those to you.
Absolutely. So there may be, the first thing I will mention, as I'll give you a sneak peek, is we are starting a Facebook crew. And so please find us there, because we wanted to create an environment where people could communicate with each other. And this was actually one of Catherine's ideas. So thank you to her again for seeing something that we couldn't see. So that's one way to get involved. The other thing I would say is to, you can always check on like your alderman's webpage. They're organizing a lot of cleanups. We are going to be doing canoeing cleans throughout October, but I don't know of any specific cleanups right now in that area.
But even in some other areas.
Say again?
Even in some other areas.
Yes.
I'm not limited to Damon and Irving Park.
Okay. Yeah. So that would be, if you're interested in paddling with us, it's really great to experience the river and pull litter out of it at the same time. So definitely that's on Friends events page. So that's one thing. And then if you're interested, if you have, a small group and you want to borrow grabbers, I'll put my email address here in the chat. It's Annette, A. Anderson at chicagoriver.org. I'm happy to lend you grabbers. And I think we are looking to still try to set things up, throughout the rest of fall. We really do pick up litter pretty much until the snow falls. So there's never a wrong time to pick up litter. We are having Chicago River Day next year, so our big event is still happening next May. So definitely keep your eye out for that. If you're interested in being a site captain, I'm your person to talk to as well. And looks like Catherine may have something to jump in on. Go ahead, Catherine.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I should have put this on the Facebook page, but if you're looking to get involved in something like in the short term, I am doing a cleanup at Clark Park today. It's actually like the second half of their monthly. I'm like on the Park Advisory Council now. They do a monthly cleanup. But I decided, because of this event and just because I don't love 9 a.m. on Saturday mornings, I said I would just come back later in the day with my group. So we're actually doing a cleanup along that river section on the south end of Clark Park today at 2 p.m.
So where's the meeting point?
So it's Clark Play Lot. It's like near Rockwell and Belmont, I think. It's near the south end of Clark Park.
It's near the Lane Tech.
Behind Lane Tech High School on the river.
It's on the river next to,
it's by Addison and the river where there's the footbridge.
Yeah, so the south end.
Yeah.
The other end of the park. But yeah.
Yep. It gets very bad over there, and I've been there. I think this will be my 4th time going there. And it's just, if there's a homeless encampment, it tends to get very filled with.
Because this is where I'm doing my walk.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
This
great.
area, but I'm walking bridge that goes over the river. So I'm going north. I'm going to Addison, then I'm walking back to Irving Park. So what you're saying is that you're further south.
Yes, it's a little further south.
You're by Belmont.
Yes.
It's closer to the Belmont area of the park. So, but it's not super far.
And the access is through Addison or through Belmont.
No, you can access it up and down Rockwell, I think. I think we usually park in the Hugh Freedy parking lot just because it's closest to that like overpass area.
I'm sorry, where do you park?
I can follow up afterward. Here, I'll put some stuff in the message thing.
Okay.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
if you could send an address for the meeting point at 2 o'clock, I'd be interested.
Yeah, for sure. Here, I'm gonna, why don't you send me your email address and I'll send you the information.
Yes.
We've got a couple people coming out. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that I'm trying to do one more kayak cleanup before it gets too cold outside. I definitely want to join you guys' your canoeing cleanups. That sounds really fun as well. I think, isn't the next one on like the 10th of October or something like that? It is? Okay, okay, so we're doing a kayak cleanup on the 3rd. I didn't want to conflict with any of the dates you guys had scheduled. So I think that'll be the last one, but if anybody's interested in joining, I can reach out as well. I'll probably put something in the crew page on Facebook.
Great. Thank you
Great.
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
thank you.
unfortunately, I do not have a Facebook account.
All right,
That's
so,
okay.
but you know what, Bruno, what you could do is in the chat box, someone posted Friends of the Chicago Rivers website on the event page. So we post all the events we do there. And so you could track those kinds of organized cleanups through our website.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so that'll work great. And then Catherine,
For Catherine, I'm sending my email address so she can respond.
perfect. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, so we're ready to wrap it up. I couldn't thank you all enough for being part of this. This has been a really amazing opportunity. And I know that I personally, we've been picking up a lot of trash, and at LaBalle Woods in particular, because I go there pretty much every weekend with our dogs. And I know now if the days that we go without a bucket and a grabber, I feel terrible. Like you see things, and you need to be careful about picking things up in this new world that we live in, because we have been picking up trash there for years. So like Catherine, I myself will be out with my grabbers in LaBalle Woods in a bucket and 2 dogs. So we'll be headed out at some point to do that. And I just want to thank you all for being part of the My Chicago River Day Summer Challenge, for caring so much and so deeply about the river that we all work to protect. This has been an incredible experience. And, you know, as Annette points out, Chicago River Day will be May 8th, 2021. We're going to continue the summer challenge because we know that this problem of litter is ubiquitous. It's just on and on. And if we're all out there working together, we can make a difference both in our own neighborhoods, but in the minds of the people that see us and our elected officials that represent us. And so make sure you make your voice heard, demonstrate in person what you care about, but also tell people what you care about, because that's where we're going to make change, is if we let people know that this matters to us and it's not acceptable to have our river and our natural resources be literally trashed. So I just want to thank you again. Get out there, join people, go on your own. It feels good either way. And keep in touch with Friends of the Chicago River. We've posted a few upcoming events. We have our annual meeting for members and volunteers, October 21st. We've got the Board to Be Wild fundraising event with some really cool, fun, interesting events. Just a host of things coming up. So stick close with Friends. We are so utterly grateful and honored to call you friends, and really want to thank you for your time this morning. So have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you out there with grabbers or kayaks or whatever, or binoculars, or just on a walk. The river is a wonderful thing, and we should all be out there all the time. So thank you very much, everyone. Take care.